Imagine this. Golden Lord, but wearing a dress. And you've got yourselves the brand new Labrynth archetype. It's essentially just Eldritch with way less cringy floodgates. This is a prime example of a trap deck actually done correctly. It's not just a shit ton of continuous trap cards just stopping your opponent outright playing the game, or a shit ton of counter trap cards just negating everything your opponent tries to do. It lets your opponent summon stuff because it incentivizes you to then remove it. But this does mean that the archetype is a lot more fair and balanced, which in Yu-Gi-Oh, if something's fair and balanced, it's probably not going to be that good. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this deck list is exactly a bad deck list. I'm sure it to be able to get Diamond 1 fairly easily, and I had a pretty easy time climbing through the Duelist Cup with it. I just don't think it's going to be anything top tier or meta relevant. But that being said, it's an awful lot of fun, so let's just get into the deck list. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get into the deck list, if you're enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, as apparently about 50% of people watching this or even subscribed to the channel, nearly all of you are returning viewers who have seen my content before. So you find yourself keep coming back to the channel and want to see more content just like this in the future, remember to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel down below. So today's archetype is obviously going to be Labrynth. Now Labrynth is a deck based around a shit ton of normal trap cards that all just aim to remove your opponent's stuff, whether that be by bouncing it back to hand, destroying it, banishing it, whatever it is, it all just aims to remove your opponent's stuff. And by doing so, you generate a shit ton of value through various different effects, including your lovely Labrynth. This card is effectively the boss monster of the deck list. It has 2900 attack and has some fairly stacked effects. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to activation of your normal trap cards, so obviously pretty good because it means your opponent can't negate your stuff. You can only use each of the following effects of Lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle once per turn. You can target one normal trap card in your graveyard, set it to your field, but it cannot be activated unless you control a Fiend monster, which obviously doesn't matter in a deck list that's filled with Fiend monsters. If another monster leaves the field by your normal trap effect, except during the damage step, you can destroy one card in your opponent's hand or on their field. So essentially it means it turns any of your normal traps, such as a Compulsory Evacuation device, into a card that not only removes a card from their field, but also makes them get rid of a card in their hand, or potentially another card on the field if they still have one. To summon this card, we have a couple of methods. The first one is going to be your Welcome Labrynth. Special summon one Labrynth monster from your deck. Also, until the end of the next turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the deck or extra deck except Fiend monsters. If a monster leaves the field by your normal trap effect while this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can set this card. So essentially, these cards are going to be infinitely recycling by just activating any of your other normal trap cards on the following turn. So even if your opponent does manage to remove your lovely Labrynth, it won't matter too much because you can get this trap card back and then just use it again to bring out your other one from the deck list anyway, or just summon out one of your other Labrynth monsters. It's a pretty damn stacked trap card. The other method of summoning this big boss monster is going to be your Labrynth Labyrinth. Very interesting name, I know. If you activate a set Welcome Labrynth normal trap card, you can add this additional effect to that card's effect at resolution. Also, after that, destroy one card on the field. So essentially, when you activate this trap card, it will now have the bonus effect of being able to pop a card as long as this card's on the field. The other effect of the field spell is if you activate a non-Labrynth normal trap card except during the damage step, you can special summon one Fiend monster from your hand or graveyard. So again, even if they remove this card, it doesn't matter too much, because just by activating any normal trap card, you can just re-summon this thing back to the field, or if you have another copy in hand, just summon it to the field via that method. We then have 3 other Labrynth monsters, which are basically the cards that make this deck entirely consistent, because first of all we have Arianna. If this card is normal special summoned, you can add one Labrynth card from your deck to your hand. So generally you're going to be adding your Welcome Labrynth. If you already have this, you're going to be adding the field spell. Alright, if another monster leaves the field by your normal trap effect, except during the damage step, you can draw one card, then you can apply this effect. From your hand, either special summon one Fiend monster or set one Spell or Trap card. You can only use one Arianna Labrynth Return effect per turn and only once per turn. So it's a really good card to not only have on the field because it allows you to draw extra cards, but it's obviously the main consistent method of being able to search for your trap card or your field spell in this deck list. The final two Labyrinth monsters are actually extremely similar to each other. We have your Stovie and we have your card I'm not even going to try and pronounce. So basically, they all have the same shared first effect. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and discard one card. Set one Labyrinth spell and trap card from your hand or deck. So another really consistent method of getting a hold of your Welcome Labyrinth or getting a hold of your field spell. And both these cards share that effect. The second effect of this card is, if a monster leaves the field by your normal trap effect while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card, which is the exact same effect as your other one, only this one it allows it to add itself back to hand rather than special summoning itself to the field. The final card I want to mention in this deck list is going to be your Backjack, and why we're running 3 copies of it. In this particular deck list, this card is bonkers. During your opponent's turn as a quick effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a normal trap, which most of your deck is, set it to your field. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. That set card can be activated during this turn, so if you get this in your graveyard during your opponent's turn, you can then potentially get an extra trap card to then use. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, then place them on top of the deck in any order. So this card is ridiculous in this particular deck list because we're running so many copies of these dudes which as quick effects can discard your Backjack. Meaning discarding this card, you look at the top 3, choose to put a normal trap card on top, then banish this card from the graveyard, and of course set it to your field, and generate yourself an extra trap card to be using off of the discard of your Labrynth Stove, or your whatever the fuck this card's name is. So essentially, you need 3 cards of this deck, 3 copies of this deck list, because it just generates a shit ton of value. The other way to use it is with Archfiend's Ghastly glitch. If you control a Fiend monster, which you obviously do with your deck list, target one card on the field, destroy it. Then send one Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard. Again, sending your Backjack to get a hold of yet another trap card to use from the top of your deck. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the decklist portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay showcasing the decklist in action, and without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. So today I have 5 replays to show you guys, all of which were taken from the Duelist Cup as I climbed from about duel level 13 up to 16, so this decklist is okay for climbing with, but like I mentioned earlier, I don't think it's that competitive, so I probably wouldn't be trying to play it in any tournaments, or if you do, don't expect to be placing top every single time. It's definitely more of a rogue level decklist, if that. Alright. Let's get into the replays. So I recorded these pretty late last night, so I don't actually remember most of them, but hopefully I'll be sort of reminded as we're playing. So the first thing we do is discard to then use a copy of your Backjack, as well as searching for my Welcome Labyrinth. Backjack with the top 3. Then, because I'm really dumb, I used this card afterwards, which is not what you meant to do. You should use this card before using your Backjack's effect, because now after looking at the top 3, I'm going to shuffle my deck list, because I'm a complete and utter moron. So, searching for the field spell, activating it, and then passing the turn. Alright. Thankfully though, I'm going to activate my Backjack in a second, and I'm not going to be punished, because I have a big brain and just get giga lucky. Top card of my deck list just happened to be a normal trap anyway. And a pretty good one at that. Alright, he sends his insect to the graveyard. Alright. Now, I know this guy's playing Danger Darkworld, and I see he sets this card. Now, I know when you're setting this card, it means you didn't want to discard it. So I'm like, huh, this card's probably pretty important. I'm going to remove it real quick. Welcome Labyrinth. Spell summoning my dude to the field, popping his card, using the field spells effect. And then he continues his stuff. Alright, I'll let him continue doing his normal stuff. I don't exactly know what this guy was trying to do. I think it's some sort of like FTK, OTK, Danger Darkworld deck. But either way, he gets 2 cards on the field. I'm going to pop one of them. This also allows me to discard one of his cards, or destroy one of the cards in his hand, as well as chain my other various effects. Special summoning a Fiend monster from my hand, making me draw an extra card. Special summoning this dude back from the graveyard. I'm actually not done yet, because we've still got a trap trick if we need it. Seeing another copy of Labrynth, popping his card. And from here, it's pretty damn hard for him to play, as we've already removed a lot of his value. Once again, I see he sets a card, and I'm like, oh, that means you didn't want to discard it. Let me remove it for you. Getting a hold of my Dogmatika Punishment. Which is just a simple destroy 2, pops his monster, and then it sends the card from the extract to the graveyard to pop the other one, so... Just getting another Jack. Popping his card, sending your dude to the graveyard. You've seen the Dogmatika stuff before. Yeah, popping his card. And also, because I use a normal trap card, I can bring back the whatever the fuck this card's name is. And from here, he's not going to do anything with just 2 cards. And from just a simple board, we've now generated a shit ton of value. And that's basically the core of what this deck list does. Alright. Now, I do want to warn you here, don't expect any, like, insane replays in particular for today's video, since most of the people that I played against with this deck list, it was really hard to get sort of really good back and forth gameplay, where a lot of people just concede as soon as I activate the trap card for whatever reason, or you just pop one monster and they just concede, I don't know. Also a lot of runic gameplay, which is just really not fun to watch, so... Yeah, and I don't think this deck is particularly good into runic anyway. Alright, first thing we do, activate our Pot of Prosperity. Getting a hold of our Welcome Labrynth. Now we can activate our dude, sending my Jack again. This time not screwing myself by actually making the top 3 cards after I've used my search effect, or my draw effect. So I know what the top card is, so I activate my Jack, put it straight on the field. Alright. He's playing Sword Soul. Summons out his dude, gets his token on the field. We want the token off the field, we don't want any Norm monsters on his field, so we're going to get rid of that real quick. Summon our boss, field spell goes off, popping his card. Alright. Also summoning back my dude from the graveyard. He has a Call by the Grave, which we don't care about too much. It's a little bit annoying, but it's whatever. Much worse things could have happened. Alright. And of course, getting a card out of his hand. Which he then concedes immediately. Did not like me hitting that one. Alright, on to replay number 3. Alright, so I know there was, I think the last replay was a mirror match, I think. And this one, I don't remember. I think there might be a runic replay in here somewhere. A lot of people are playing runic at the moment. Alright. Activating my Pot of Extravagance, banishing a whole bunch, drawing 2. You also notice that a lot of my replays are me going first. That's because this deck list going second, it's pretty damn awful. It basically can't play. There's a reason I'm actually running a couple of hand traps, because I feel like without them, this deck list just... You just don't have any chance going second. It just feels so bad. You can't play Lava Golem because you need your normal summons, so it just... I don't know. There's not really a whole lot you can do going second, sadly, but that's just kind of how trap decks are. Alright, so once again, changing the top order, searching for my Labrynth, and setting my 2 cards. Blackjack, looking at the top card, putting on the field. Alright. Oh yeah, this guy was playing, the Uria stuff. The legendary, whatever the hell they're called, the discount gold cards. I'm gonna Ash Blossom that card because it's annoying. I could have popped it to be fair, but decided to use Ash instead. Probably would have been better to pop it actually. So just for the field spell, I'm gonna activate my Welcome Labrynth. Unfortunately, he has an Ash Blossom, which is another pretty big weakness of this deck list. Because if you get your thing Ash Blossomed, your deck's gonna be really hard to generate more value, since you don't really get to... You can activate normal trap cards, but you don't get your draws, you don't get your extra pops, your discards out of their hand, so... Yeah, Ash Blossom is pretty killer for this deck as well. Alright, thankfully though we still have a Torrential. And also a Maxx, so we're gonna draw a card here. Thankfully top deck a lovely Labrynth, and then my field spell gets to activate, to then summon it to the field. and summon another card to the field, and as soon as he sees that, he realizes, oh yeah, this game's a bit donezo. Alright, it's not exactly the greatest replay, that one, but yeah, decided to show it anyway. Alright. So this has got to be the ruining match. Surely. Holy shit, this dude, is this guy running a 60 card deck? Oh my god. Alright, discarding the two dudes. He activates Maxx, so you can actually special summoning something here. I don't know what that's about. Oh yeah, this is the replay where I basically empty my entire hand. Yeah, so we do that just to get one card in the field, then you get another card in the field, and it looks kind of like we just negative ourselves a whole bunch by putting 4 cards in the graveyard to set only 3. But it's honestly not bad, because this deck generates a shit ton of value just off its own cards, and these cards all special summon themselves, add themselves back to hand anyway. So this dude's going to add his copy of Adamantipator to hand, summon it to the field. We're immediately going to activate our Welcome Labyrinth to pop it. In doing so, we'll of course then activate our stuff in graveyard and pop his thingo. Oh sorry, not activate things in graveyard yet. Oh, we do, what am I saying? Summoning this thing, popping the card in his hand, activating all the stuff in grave, summon it back to the field, add it back to hand. He imperms us, which is only slightly annoying. We don't mind too much, because we still have a compulsory. And of course, with the compulsory on the field, we can also use the field spells effect to special summon a fiend to the field as well. So we can pulse this card, meaning we can special summon a fiend, and before we do, he's just like, nope. No thank you. And he's gone. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean by it's really hard to get some really good back and forth gameplay with this particular deck list for the video, since most people are just kind of conceding once you sort of stop them playing. Of just removing their stuff. Alright. Once again, going first, part of Extravagance, going to be drawing 2 cards. Going to be discarding, same stuff you've seen before, Labrynth, look at top 3. Set our field spell, activate our field spell, set our Ice Dragon's Prison, and pass the turn. With an Ash Blossom and a Maxx in hand. Which is very useful, because this card is terrifying. I thought this was a Labrynth match, maybe it wasn't. Man, I don't remember my own replays. Alright. Sending a rock to the graveyard. Putting this dude on the field. Maxx, Ash Blossom. We use our Welcome Labyrinth in response. Summoning my dude straight to the field. Popping his card and removing a card from his hand. And this is actually a really good example of my Ice Dragon's Prison, actually. Because this guy likes to put rock monsters on the field, so I get them in the graveyard. So because I think I looked at the top of my deck list and realized that there was no trap card that I wanted, or that didn't actually have a trap card there, I made sure to use my Welcome Labyrinth first, that way it shuffled my deck list, so now I can activate my copy of Jack and hopefully hit something of use. Which we didn't, of course. But at least with that card in the graveyard, we can now use its effect if we want to. Once we activate our Ice Dragon's Prison. Tower Crusader, flip my card face down, doesn't really do anything. Banishes this dude, puts this card in graveyard, and as soon as he tries to special summon it, I'm going to special summon it first and banish both rock monsters. And I think he just concedes from here. And I'm pretty sure I have another replay that I just didn't save, so I'm going to go record that one real quick. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going crazy. I did have another Labrynth gameplay saved that I just didn't record yet. I didn't click save replay on. Because this one was actually pretty good. It was a mirror matchup and I went second, so it was a pretty good replay to show off. And it was one of the few actual, like, back and forth gameplays that went for more than, like, a couple of turns. That matched my opponent's conceding instantly. Alright. So, going second versus a mirror matchup. So we should be on the downside here, so we should be on the backbone, because he's like, he gets the priority and he's playing a trap deck, so he should have advantage here. That's the word I was looking for. Sets 3 and goes back to me. Discarding, setting my trap card. It's not too bad discarding a copy of my Welcome Labyrinth, because if I activate a trap card, obviously it comes back from the graveyard. Or a normal trap card. Alright, Pot of Extravagance, banishing a whole bunch, drawing some cards. He has a Cursed Seal? I guess this dude's been, like, hit with too many branded fusions, or he's annoyed about Harpy's Feather Duster or something. But fucking Cursed Seal. Yeah, I feel like he should be playing Solemn over this, but anyway. Activate Welcome Labyrinth, summon my card to the field. He chooses to bounce it back to hand. Honestly, I'm not really sure if I should have summoned this one, if I should have summoned my copy of my Arianna. I'm not really sure in this case, as it was very likely it was going to get removed, so maybe I should add my search card. Either way, I got this thing on the field. I don't think it mattered too much, but yeah. Alright. He's going to add it back to my hand, summon out his own copy, and get its effect because he did them in the right chain order. Removing my card and getting a draw. So this guy got an absurd amount of advantage off that one play. Alright, thankfully it didn't hit my Lady Labyrinth, or my Lovely Labyrinth. Set my trap trick, activate it. I decided to activate it now because I want to use it before this dude gets his monster effect off to add a trap card back. Which I then, for some reason, still didn't do it anyway, so I let him do it, because I'm dumb. Summons out a Caesar, summons out a DD Marksman, and then goes into his big copy of card I actually don't care about, because I have a Compulsory. I don't know, he saw me kind of, like, do all this and get the Compulsory, so I don't really know why he went for this play, because I was obviously just going to compulse this. I don't know why he did that. Setting my Welcome Labyrinth back to the field and getting this card back to hand. I think it's the hand one. Yeah. Hits me in the face for 2900. Don't care too much. Activate my field spell. Activate my trap card. Summon dude to the field. Pop his card. I don't think he realized that, I guess he didn't really have any way to use his trap card because he couldn't compulse like his own monster, I guess. But either way, had nothing he could do to actually respond to this because it technically adds the destruction effect to the trap card, so he can't just chain his trap card in response to the Labyrinth or anything, so yeah. Trap card gets popped, I get to add a card back, and from here I'm just so far ahead. I pop my own monster to get rid of his card because I know I can revive it at any point by just doing exactly what I'm doing now. Getting another Labyrinth on the field, got a normal trap card in graveyard in combination with the field spell. So I can just summon a Fiend to the field and then I can use the trap card, and from there he was just like, yeah nah. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.